Hi friends, it's Meridy here with Not Just for Boys Kit Club, and today I have a video for you putting together the Seriously kit, which is one of our April 2022 page kits. So first I'm going to show you what's included in the kit, and we'll go over the embellishments first. First off, you're going to get this Teen Spirit stamp set, which is super cool for boys and teens, girls too. Yeah, it's got, I think there's like 32 different stamps on here. It's really cool. You're going to get a pack of Little Dreamer frames and tags, and that's what they look like. You're going to get a pack of 10 Not Just for Boys Kit Club wooden stars that have a like the checkerboard pattern on them in red. You're going to get a Seriously cut, and this one is designed by Paige Evans. And then the paper that you're going to get in this kit is one piece of the Uniquely Creative. This one is called Drive and Fly, and this piece is called Plain. It looks like that. You're going to get one piece of Ella and Vive Urban Excursion Reflection paper. I love the blue bricks on this, and this is nice thick paper. You're going to get one sheet of Ella and Vive Santa's Workshop #1, which is just red wood grain, and it is white on the back. You're going to get one sheet of the Echo Park I Love Winter. It's called Winter Wonderland, and this is the side we're mainly going to focus on with this kit, but the back is winter and ice skates. But I really just liked the polka dots. And one sheet of Echo Park I Love Winter. This piece is called Snow Day. And again, it's got snowflakes on one side, but I liked the plaid on the other side. And 2 sheets of white cardstock. And these are going to be the base of your layout, the smooth white cardstock. So those are all the pieces that are in your kit. You're also going to have a full sheet of, a sheet of full color instructions printed on the front and the back. And those instructions are going to have a cutting guide on them, and it's going to show you exactly how to cut all these papers to make this layout. So the first thing that I'm going to do, and the first thing that you're going to do, is cut all the papers down to the size outlined on the cutting guides, and I will do that and be right back. All right guys, I'm back, and I have got all of my papers cut, and we're going to start with both pages together, both of the background sheets of the white cardstock together. And we're just going to work like this because it's easier for this layout to work with the pages together. So my photos for my layout are not, that I'm making on this video, are just pieces of white paper that I've labeled 2.5 inch by 3.5 inch photo. And the way that I did these guys, I printed them 2 up on a 4x6. So they were originally a 3 by 4 inch photo. It was originally 3 inches wide and 4 inches tall, and 2 of them fit when you print out a 4x6 photo. And then I just trimmed off a 1/4 of an inch off of each side of the photo, so that they're now 2.5 by 3.5 inches. So I'm gonna set these off to the side. There's 7 of those. And we're just gonna start laying out our papers and everything where they need to go. So the first thing that you're going to do, you're gonna leave about just around an inch on the bottom, maybe not even quite an inch. Okay, and this is on one page, this is on the other page. And then you're gonna get, this is the thin strip of the blue brick, and then this one over here is the thicker strip of the blue brick. See, it's bigger. And then you're gonna lay out photo mats. Oops. And I'm just laying these approximately where they're gonna go. I'm not adhering anything down quite yet. And then your photos. And what I did on mine, I only had 7 photos. So I left this one blank, and we're gonna add a journaling spot to this. So from this strip that you cut, you're gonna cut 2.5 inches off one end. And I liked the end with all the little splatters, but you might want a different end, so that's why I didn't show it on the cut guides. So off of somewhere on this, cut 2.5 inches. If you want the splatters in it, that's great. If you don't, then I would cut off of the other end. So I'm just gonna trim that real quick. And then we're still gonna use this piece, just not right now. Oop. Okay, there you go. Okay, and then these two strips, you cut one off the top and one off the bottom, or one off of each side of your paper. Put them the same direction, so like this little tiny, where the red dots, like you don't want to do it upside down because then the patterns won't match. So make sure it's the same pattern going across. You'll be able to tell when you get it up there because it will look funny if you do one upside down. It's not going to match up very nicely right there. Okay, and then we can adhere all of this down, and I'm going to do that off camera, and I will be right back, and then we'll work on each half separately. Alrighty, everything is adhered down, and now we are going to work on our title. So we're going to move this page off to the side for now, and we'll just work on this page. So the title is going to be this die cut that says seriously. It's kind of abbreviated. SRSLY, or question mark, exclamation point. Let me move it so it's easier to see over here. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is back this cut file. So now that you've got all of your paper adhered down, the rest of your leftover pieces that you have from everything are scraps. So we're going to use these scraps to back this word. And I wanted my word to start with the red because it pops so nicely. So my S is going to be red. You can use any color that you want to back your letters. It doesn't have to be the same colors that I use, but I wanted the beginning to be red so that it really pops out. And normally I would use a pencil for this, but I do not have a pencil handy, so I'm using a pen. And what I'm doing is I'm really gently outlining the S, just the outline of it. So when I move it, I'm going to cut right inside of where I outlined it. So I'm going to cut smaller than what I outlined it, because that way, if I cut bigger than what I outlined it, it will show on the outside of the S. So I'm going to cut smaller right inside of this. Right inside of this. So I'm going to do this for every single letter. I'm going to show you how it looks after I cut smaller so you can see, and then I'm going to do the rest of the letters off camera because this takes a few minutes and it's not very exciting to watch. The pattern that I used this red for the S, and then for the R, I used the light blue piece that came off of the airplane paper. And then the next S, I used the plaid paper. I'll show you. The second S, I used this plaid paper. And then I did that in a pattern. So I did S, R, S, and then the L was red again, the Y was blue, the question mark was this, and then the exclamation point at the end was red. So that way the beginning and the end were like squeezed together with red. So the red really helps the word pop out. And I will get this all, let me finish this S and show you how to do this, and then I'm gonna turn off the camera and get the rest done, and I'll show you when it's finished. So here is the S that I just cut. And I need to trim this little piece right here. But other than that, it sets real nicely on there, and then I'm just gonna glue it on the back. So let me trim that little piece. And then I'm actually gonna trim inside of this too. This piece got a little wonky. I just usually hold up the pieces before I adhere it down, so I make sure everything is fitting right. And then I'm going to use my Zig two-way glue to glue the S in. So what I'm going to do is flip my title upside down and go around my S here with some dots of glue. And then I will glue my S right in there. Come on. Okay, and so when I flip it over, the S is nice like that. So I'm going to do all the letters and I will be right back when those are all done. All right, we have got the seriously backed with the little punctuation, and it's going to go right here like this. But as you could tell, it doesn't pop off the page very much just like this. It blends in with the background because it's white on white, but I do like that look. So you could leave it just like this, or you can, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put some ink on the white background so that it kind of makes this pop a little. And I'm using the Distress Oxide Stormy Sky color and one of these little brushes. And I'm just coming in here and doing this just really gently and lightly. I'm getting enough ink on here. And I'm gonna do this underneath the whole area that the title sits. So see how you can kind of see a little? I do need to make it go further down and further up. So that's why I'm keeping my title close at hand. So after I ink a little, I can drag the title up here and see how it's looking. That's pretty good. So I'm going to do that all the way across to the other side, and I will be right back. I'm gonna do it off camera, but that's exactly all that you do. I'll be right back. Okay, so now that this is done, we can adhere the title right here, and you can either adhere your title straight on to your layout like this, or you can pop it up on dimensional adhesive, and I am going to pop mine up on dimensional adhesive. So I'm just going to use I'm just going to put a few pieces on here because I don't want the video taking so long. But normally I would put a little more than this to get it on the back of every single letter. I'm also going to put a little on the punctuation that we've got here. And then we'll grab our pack of die cuts. Okay, there's a lot of die cuts that I don't use on this layout because I didn't want to add a bunch of color into this layout. I liked it, the red and blue only. I really liked that look. And save these little things that you punch out of the tags because you're gonna use them. I went in the layout and added them in. I think this goes on the other side. So I tried to keep mine pretty two-toned, but yeah, you can use a lot of different of these die cuts if you want to add more color to your layout. Let's see here. Those are going to go on the other side. And I'm trying to keep my layout look a little more mature, a little more masculine and older, not like little boy. So the things that say little boy, I'm purposely not using because I don't want to make mine little boy. I wanted to make my layout look a little more big kid. Let's see here. use that on the other layout, and I use this. And this says Thank Heaven for Little Boys, but I thought that was fine. And again, I saved my little dot from in there. I think this is all of them that I used. And this one has a bunch of little dots. 4 or 5 of them, I think, depending on how, 4 of them, I guess, because it's cut. And then we're just gonna start placing these approximately where they're gonna go on your layout. Not adhering anything down yet. And I didn't want the airplane on mine, so I totally covered the airplane up. And this is, like I said, just approximately where I want it. Oh, and there's a couple more punch outs. And this one right here, I'm cutting it in half. You're gonna use half on that side and half under here, and I'm not going to let the words show. It's gonna be covered up. The next thing that we're going to do is grab that scrap of the light blue. It was part of the airplane paper, and we're gonna back this frame, and this frame in this light blue. So, and it doesn't need to be exact. I'm not using a ruler. I'm just kind of cutting and eyeballing where this belongs. And then I'll adhere that into there. And I'm gonna do the same thing for both of these. Okay, now that I have those backed, I do want to start adhering things down to my layout. I know that I'm going to do some stamping on these, but to me, it's easier to do the stamping when it's adhered into place. So I'm just going to start with the back layer and work my way up each layer a little at a time. Okay, so these two are flat on the paper, and then this Thank Heaven for Little Boys is going to be flat on the back as well. Goes underneath there. And then I am gonna pop up this You Are Amazing right here. It's gonna be popped up on dimensional adhesive. But I'm just gonna get these other things laid down. Everything else is just gonna be adhered flat to the page. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I will be right back to show you how to embellish and stamp in these frames, because we're gonna use the stamps that come in this kit in the frames. So I'll be right back. I'm actually going to put all these little confetti dots down too. I'm gonna just use this Zig 2-way glue pen because it's easier than trying to use a tape runner, and get these little guys down. So I put 3 right there, and 3 up here. Come on. And then we'll put 3 more down here. Okay, so those little confettis are on. And then we're gonna get our stamps in a stamp block and some ink. And the ink that I use, let me scooch this over a little bit so we can see what's happening here. Okay, I used Faded Jeans, Distress Oxide, Candied Apple, Distress Oxide, Stormy Sky, Distress Oxide. So basically it's a light blue, a navy blue, and a red. And then I used Stays On Black because that's like my go-to black ink pad. So I'm just gonna start with this first one right here. Let me get that off of there. And I am going to find a stamp that fits in there, which Just Do Your Thing was a perfect stamp that fits up there. And I'm gonna go ahead and stamp that in black ink. This stays on. And I'm just gonna stamp it right in there. And then, ooh, I need to add a little more ink to that ink pad, I think. And then I'm going to stamp the fidget spinner in the light blue ink. The fidget spinner in there. And I'm going to stamp, I'll get these off, a couple different size stars in the navy ink. I'm going to put a big one down here and a couple small ones. There's so many amazing stamps on this page. I think it's like 32 stamps or something. I don't know. There's a lot of them. And they're all bigger kid, like not babyish. So I love them. I'm going to go ahead and stamp on this next one, You Are So Cool. And then I'm going to stamp this little arrow pattern in light blue across the bottom like this. And then I'm going to flip it over and stamp it across the top like that. And then the words You Rule, I think I'm going to stamp those in the black ink. Right around there. Oh, I really need more ink on this ink pad. Let's try that again. There. And I'm going to stamp the bigger star again in red this time. Okay, moving right along, we're going to move down to the bottom of this layout, and I am going to stamp the video game controller because my son loves video games. And you know what? I'm going to stamp this. This black ink seems to be giving me problems. So I'm going to do a little sample stamp there. It's working well. So I'll do the video game controller. Then I'm also going to do this these flags that say, oh, what do they say? Totally Epic. And I'm gonna stamp them on a scrap piece first too. Okay, it's working well. Let's stamp them on the bottom down here. The way I did this is I really just took a stamp and I just built around it. I stamped one thing, then the next of what fit. Rule the World, I'm gonna stamp in light blue, right in the middle there. And then this one that says, So Cool, Chill, Rad, Legit, Sweet, I'm gonna stamp in red. So I just basically got different size stamps and different colors of ink and just filled in almost like a puzzle these boxes. And then the top had a little bit of space left, so I'm gonna put this LOL in light blue. It's LOL and a speech bubble in light blue, and that fits perfectly right there. And the last thing, we can close all these inks. We're gonna use them again on the next page. Actually, we're gonna leave these open because I'm gonna just grab the next page and use them right away. But the last thing that we're gonna do to this page is adhere 3 wooden stars. These are so cute. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to adhere those down with Eileen's tacky glue. And it just needs a little, I just find that this adheres wood really well and it dries very quickly. so it doesn't keep moving around and around on my layout. So I really like using tacky glue for that. Okay, so that is this side of the layout, and then let's grab the other side and put it together. And we're gonna start with what we've already got, which is this part is already adhered. And just like we did on the last page, we're gonna take some of this Stormy Sky ink and put it in the background up here. This is where an embellishment cluster is going. And I'm not too concerned with getting right up at the edge of this paper because the whole embellishment cluster covers that. I'm more concerned of what's gonna stick out on the sides. So I'm gonna speed this up while I finish getting this inked up here. All right, so we've got that. And then we're just going to basically lay things out and not adhere them quite yet. This is gonna fit in here. And I realize it doesn't cover up the whole thing. That's how you're gonna know where to trim the bottom off. So trim the bottom off. And don't worry that this is open because we're just gonna cover it up with another tag. The bottom is gonna go down here. Play All Day is gonna go right there along with the other half of this from the other page. I'm just gonna cover that up. Let's move this over just a little. Okay, and then this little tag, you're gonna come in and notch the other end to make it match the first end, and then cut it because we're gonna use one right there and another right there. And this tag is gonna do a great job at covering up that, and this is gonna do a great job at covering up the other part. So you can't even see that there's an open gap there. Okay, now that we've got that, we're gonna go in and stamp. So let me move some of these goodies out of the way. And we're gonna stamp just like we did on the other page, except I don't want any of this to be adhered down because I wanna be able to move it when I stamp. So You Are So Cool is gonna go right up here. And I'm gonna do that in black ink. And since the black was giving me problems, I'm gonna test sample it on a scrap. Okay, there we go. So You Are So Cool. I'll go right there. And then we're also going to do the video game remote control. And I just overlapped. This is just not wanting to stamp. I don't know what's up with my ink today. I might need to go grab a different black ink to use. Well, there it goes. Mine's a little messed up. Hopefully yours will stamp at the first try, not like mine that's giving me difficulties. And then I'm gonna stamp a large red star up here and a large red star down here and a smaller light blue or dark blue star there and a dark blue star there. So we've got that part done. And then we're going to do the peace sign. So let's pretend like these are in the right place. The peace sign, I want it to be sticking out from behind the little tag here. So I'm gonna move the tag and stamp it. Man, this just is not, my ink is just not cooperating. Maybe it's because I'm stamping over where I inked the page, but I don't know. I don't know why it's not working. It's just my ink pad, I think. And then Rule the World, I'm gonna stamp in red. Right next to there. And then I'm going to get the fidget spinner and stamp that in dark blue. And then the You Rule, I'm gonna stamp that one in light blue. And then we're gonna just add in a few stars. So I'll grab the red stars again. It's okay if some of these get overlapped by the little, oops, by the little tags. Dipped it in black. It's okay if they get overlapped by the little tags and stuff. It's okay, because it just will be like layers. And then a couple of the dark blue, tinier stars. Get another one in here. Okay, so that's about it for building up the little stamped collage images. I really like doing that and using the stamps like that. And it's a good way to use your stamps that you have like already in your stash too. I often forget to pull out stamps when I'm making layouts. So I like making them with the kits because then I don't forget to pull them out. So we're going to just start adhering things down. And I just want to make sure this is technical difficulties, and my camera died while I was finishing this layout and I didn't know it. But the good part is we were almost all the way done. So the part I was just saying was I was starting to adhere these tags and embellishments over here, and I popped up the Play, Explore, or Explore, Play, Learn on a dimensional adhesive. The rest of these are flat on the layout. And then down here, this blue frame and the half of the red tag are flat on the layout, and I popped up the Play All Day on dimensional adhesive. And then I just added these two stars with Eileen's tacky glue, and that is all that got missed in the video. Sorry about that you didn't get to see me doing those in real time. But this is the completed layout, both sides. There's going to be some still pictures at the end of this video. There are also still pictures on your instruction sheet. There's a full color picture of this layout. There are full color pictures of this layout and the one that I made using my photos on our website under the listing where you bought this kit as well. And I also have some close-up detail shots of the embellishment clusters if you need to refer to those. So if you put any page together with this kit, whether it's this page or if you used it in a totally different way and did your own thing, we would love to see it on our Facebook group at Not Just for Boys Kit Club Community. It's a Facebook group on Facebook, and you just have to join there and then share away. And our design team always shares their unique layouts that they made using our kits, not just following my instructions. They don't follow my instructions, they do their own thing. So it gives you even more inspiration if you want to use these kits in your own way. Oh, and I will add journaling strips to this block, or just journal straight on this block. I forgot to say that, and probably stamp a date on there too. But thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Sorry about the little mishap where you didn't get to see me adhere all the embellishments. See you later. Bye.